Yeah, I'm here.
Alright, let's get into it. I can turn down the music one sec. Alright guys, welcome to Group 29 for CPL. What season is this, Luz? It's like, I think season 4. Probably everyone who's watching knows that. So let's go ahead and get started with the first game. We don't have too many games this time, but you know, it's a higher group than last time, so hopefully we're going to get to see some kind of more technical games. And yeah, so let's get started with the first one. Alright, looks like we're going to be watching a PVZ. We have our blue Zerg Mad, I am Mad, and our red Protoss Ratrap. Yeah, so we got the early game to look at now. Let's see what happens. Alright, so are you gonna be waitlisted for the CPL season, Luz?
I don't think so. I haven't submitted my name to the snipe yet, actually. So.
Let's get some music in here.
Alright, so we see, I guess, a pretty standard play so far from both players. Ratrap looking to set up, you know, like a wall that is natural.
So actually, I'm not curious. Mad is sending his overload off to the right. Is that the standard? I guess that's a standard scouting position in Fighting Spirit because you're going to be able to keep that overlord perched above the enemy opponent's natural if they spawn on this location. So we see him going for the standard scout.
Right. Yeah, and you can also see Ratrap playing very standard Forge first.
Okay.
Very common these days.
He's actually gone out with 2 scouts. Is that a little excessive, maybe?
No, I think he's just trying to be conservative. You know, trying to play it safe. In case there's some kind of, you know, like war pool or something crazy like that, right? You can scout the lings coming in right now.
Right. So we should see a Nexus coming up pretty soon here for Ratrap, and then he's gonna. Will he be able to complete this wall? And as it is that gate? I imagine he's gonna put a gateway to the right of that forge and get a zealot out along with the cannon to defend.
Yeah, that's completely right. Okay, so you see Ratrap is now scouting Mad's base. He's keeping his probe next to the 3 eggs to see if Zerglings will be in a Zergling or a drone round, and he can see everything. You can see drones coming out. 2 Zerglings, so there might not be any really early Zergling pressure. The 2 Zerglings just to deny that scout in his base.
So we see cannon
playing. Oh, so go ahead.
Yeah, so we see that first cannon coming down. So Ratrap should be pretty safe from any aggression from Mad, especially since we're not seeing any Zergling production. Kind of as a Protoss, you know that you're afraid of 2 things mainly in the early game, right? You're afraid of just Zerglings being rallied into your base, and also Hydra all-ends. So I think right now the Protoss Ratrap is pretty confident that no Zerglings are going to be streaming into his base, so he's pretty safe with just the 1 cannon. I guess the question is, what does he tech up to next? He actually still has not gotten his simulator. Is that a little late, do you think, or is that normal?
Yeah, actually, I'm actually kind of surprised. I think it's because he was busy microing his probe, so he kind of, let that slip a bit. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
Well, I think as a Protoss, right, you need to get Templars and Corsairs out, right, to do something, otherwise you're just going to die.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, you do want your gas as soon as possible, so you can get that started.
Right.
And I mean, as you already stated earlier, the gas was a little late, but I mean, it's not gonna be game ending, right? At this point. So.
Right. I guess at this point, it looks like the Zerg is really just setting up for a macro game, throwing down his third hatchery, and with the Protoss playing pretty passively, pretty late on his tech, we can expect that the next action that's going to happen in this game is from the Zerg either teching into Mutalisks or into Hydralisks.
Right. Usually the tech of choice nowadays is Hydralisk, right? Opposed to Mutalisk. But there are some, builds where you can actually go Mutalisk and catch the Protoss off guard, especially if they don't scout it, right?
Well,
this matchup, yeah.
Yeah, so isn't the idea that, like, as a Zerg, right, maybe you send, like, 5 Hydras to the front of the Protoss, keep them contained, and then the Protoss just has to, overreact with a certain amount of cannons, or die. And that can lead into a situation where the Zerg... Does the Zerg, if they fake a Hydra bust, does that typically lead to just either mutas or an expansion favored policy?
Okay, sorry, I want 1 second. Can you turn up the speed to fastest? Because you're on faster right now.
Oh, okay, that explains a lot, actually. It's going kind of slow.
yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Check. I should keep a better eye on the chat, actually. Because last game, we had the players' names over the mini-map. That was kind of annoying. I felt really bad about that. So we'll be keeping an eye on that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so you see Ratrap actually moving out with 2 Zealots. Trying to test the front, but I don't think this is going to work. Matt has a ton of Zerglings. Now flooding his Zerglings toward Ratrap's natural. Ratrap does not have a Zealot in position to seal the wall, so this could okay, yeah, it's still not in position, so this could potentially be really bad if these Zerglings get in. And it looks like the Zerglings will get in. He's got a nice surround on the cannon. Nice surround on the Zealots. Actually, this game might just be over right now. He needs to start throwing down a cannon, like desperation cannons right now or something to...
Yeah. It looks like... he's doing some pretty good probe micro. The Zerg player is just trying to target... The Zergs are all trying to target that Zealot, and just the probe's got a bunch of damage in. So actually, if the Protoss just throws down, I'd say 2 more cannons, he could be in a good position. Especially with nowhere Zealots popping out anytime soon. This is actually a pretty dangerous position.
Yeah, the Zerg seems to be just flooding down mass links with a Mutalisk follow-up actually, so this looks really desperate. That Ling run by, that got by because the Zealot wasn't in position, really costed the Protoss. I mean, I think this could just be it. I mean, he's got 1 Corsair, but like I said, the Zerg's already, he's got Spartech, right? So, I mean, 1 Corsair's not going to cut it. And yeah, we see a GG coming out from Ratrap.
Yeah, I guess that can happen pretty much to anyone and any, that happens to me sometimes. As a Terran player, it can just be very difficult when a player goes heavy circling and you kind of expect it. But, I think that Protoss knew what they were supposed to do, but they just didn't execute on it as well as they should have.
Yeah, for sure. This game is a game of, of basically seconds, right? And his Zealot was out of position just for a second, right? And didn't have the wall closed off, right? And then the Lings got in, and this is what happens, right?
Right. I think it's kind of one of these things that it's really frustrating to lose, too. But you have to take it as a experience to learn from. And just tightening up those timings, knowing when those Zerglings are coming, and when you have to be prepared for it. It's something that can kind of increase your skill a lot in this game.
Yeah, I think the Protoss actually, I think he actually didn't know the Zerglings were coming because he had 2 Zealots on the field, and he actually was taking the Zealots back to his base. But I mean, again, as I said, it was just the missed wall, right? The failed Zealot block that led to this loss.
Right. So now we're switching into, we're still going to be doing another PvZ actually. We have WhyI'mNoob from the first game, and FTDuDe. It's the Protoss, Orange Protoss in the top right. So hopefully the early game will actually go a bit quicker now that we're on fastest and not faster. Yeah, I felt I was I was thinking, I was like, wow, this early game's lasting a really long time. I'm kind of surprised here. I'm glad we got that fixed. All right, so hopefully we get to see some more more things than like just Zergling all in actually this game. Although I wouldn't say that game was Zergling all in, would you?
I think. No, I think that wasn't intended to be a Zergling all in. I don't think the Zerg actually intended to break into his natural with that Zergling, but it's that he slipped through the wall, right? And he saw the damage he got done, so he just rallied more Zerglings, to finish the job, so to speak.
It was a pretty sizable investment Zerglings to make in the beginning, though. Is that something that he had to do because he saw those 3 Zealots out on the field, or was it a bit of he wanted to get damage done? I think
that was a little bit of a anticipation, and a little bit of a reaction and anticipation because he saw those 2 Zealots coming out earlier, right?
So it looks like we're going to see a similar opening from the Protoss this game, looking to see maybe a Forge get thrown down, or actually a Gateway opening this time. What exactly is the difference between a Gateway from a Forge opening, do you think?
Well, a Gateway opening obviously allows the Protoss to apply some early pressure, right? With a quick Zealot coming out, as opposed to a Forge opening. But these kind of builds are a little bit more risky, right? Without a Forge, you can't access the cannon tech, of course. So if the Zerg does any big Zergling plays, big, like Zergling floods, you may just find yourself losing.
Are we going to see a probe blocking the hatchery at Mad's natural? Oh, we're actually seeing a pylon block there.
Yeah. Pylon drop down, will deny the natural. Looks like the Zerg's actually going up to his natural 3rd and starting his hatchery there. Very smart play.
Looks like Dude's actually trying to block that. We're seeing some pretty advanced play by Dude, and meanwhile his macro back at home is actually going pretty well. Still making probes, although we've seen a bit of a gap here.
Just like to note that he is getting that Zealot, the first Zealot out first, right? And you can see a Forge going down as well now.
Mad still does not have a hatchery down. That's terrible in this position, right? I mean, the Zerg with a second hatchery this early on, that's gonna put a heavy crinkle on his economy and his army. Cause he's down to 1 larva coming out at a time right now.
Yeah, that delayed hatchery timing is never good for Zerg. It's gonna slow down his build, right?
Are we gonna see him kind of overcompensate and go for early 3rd as well here to make up for that?
He's gonna go for the 3rd, right? But I wouldn't say it's too much of an early 3rd. I mean, last game he also went for the same thing, right? He just grabbed his natural and in quick succession grabbed his 3rd, right?
Yeah, we still, the Zerg is a little bit behind, I'd say, but the Protoss still actually doesn't have his Nexus out. I'm a little surprised, actually, right? I think with a Gateway first opening, you're gonna have Zealots coming out, putting pressure on the Zerg, and get your Nexus behind that. Not wait till you get a Forge up as well, right?
Yeah, I think the intention was to actually maybe apply some quick early pressure, but he saw how many Lings came out, especially since he threw down that pylon block. It kind of forced Mad to get Zerglings to clear out, the probe and the pylon, etc.
Right.
So seeing so many Zerglings out, he couldn't put any pressure, right, with his Zealots, and he opted for the safer choice, just to throw it on a Forge and a cannon before the Nexus.
I think, I feel like the Protoss is definitely behind in this position, though, right? Like, getting that Nexus so late, well, the Zerg's going to get 3 hatcheries up, pretty quickly, actually.
Hold on, we see Zerglings coming in. FTDuDe not really paying attention, so he loses his cannons, gets picked off.
Some missed micro on some of the Zealots. They weren't all, a lot of them were just running around. But actually, it looks like we see some good probe blocks on the ramp. Oh, that's perfect micro right there. That's really good crisis management on the part of Dude. And Mad, really get away with maybe 1 probe kill and 1 cannon kill. So that was definitely...
It was 2 probes, actually. 2 probes and a cannon.
That was a great hold.
It was worth it. Yeah, because I'm sorry, no, it was worth it for the Protoss, actually, because if the Zerglings get in, to your main, they can harass you. A good Zerg player can harass you forever and run around forever, right? So,
right, yeah, I mean, even pro games, you see the pro players throw down a cannon in the mirror lane as soon as they see their natural get breached, just because they know that as soon as that natural's breached, there's really nowhere or nothing for them to be able to do. But it looks like we're going to see the Boss player send out those Zealots to exert some pressure on the Zerg. He knows that that third is up, and he actually even got a probe kill with this probe. I'm pretty impressed right now with dude's micro. He's really, he's really doing really good micro and not flying behind on his macro at the same time. So that's really good. You can throw it down, 2 gateways behind his pressure.
Right. Yeah. It looks like Matt's in a little bit of trouble now. He's making the Zerglings right now, with 4 Zealots about to be at his third. With good micro, FTDuDe could actually win against this and lose and take out Matt's hatchery.
Right. I mean, what we're seeing right now from the Zerg, Spire coming out. So he may be able to go for some, meterless timing before any Corsairs get out. But as it stands now, with having to invest so much in Zerglings, and I think he's quite behind, and he might even still lose this hatchery, even with all the Zerglings he's made.
Right. I think whoever will, the player that will come out on top, will really come down to, if the Protoss can take the hatchery or not. But it looks like Matt has enough Zerglings, and he will be able to save his third hatchery, which is really, really crucial, actually.
Yeah, you do doing everything you can to be as annoying as possible, but Zealot putting it in a nice little nook behind third mineral line. And you can see that,
really good micro.
Yeah, Matt has really gotten no economic output out of this third. But we see that he is going for that Mutalisk. And we're going to see Dude come out with only 1 Corsair by the time these get out. So I think we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Mutalisks popping out. Is this going to be enough to do any damage? That middle line's looking real exposed at the main.
Yeah, there certainly is a timing window for Matt to get something done here. Even with 5 Mutalisks, you can also see he's got actually a 1 Scourging as well, so that'll be able to take care of the Corsair if FTDuDe's not watching carefully.
Like, he's got to go now though, because it's the time, it's the moment right now. See, as soon as Dude sees this, we're going to see cannons go down in his main, and
yeah, you can see it's already on the way.
Right, chasing this Corsair is really not the right use at this point. Every second that goes by that he's starting doing damage, it's making them a waste of money and letting the Protoss get further and further ahead. They're just dancing, with this Corsair around these Mutalisks. They're not going to be able to do anything.
Right. Also, I would like to note that just before he was massing up Mutalisks, he actually lost one of the Overlords, the Zerg, to the cannons in the front, which actually supply blocked him for a while. That's why he couldn't even rally more Mutalisks faster. So that's a little bit of a misplay as well. Alright, we see some harassment come down at the natural with his Mutalisks. But with cannons warping in the main and 2 Corsairs, I think, out in the field. I don't know how much damage this can do.
Yeah, I think at this point, he's really making the wrong engagements. With Mutalisks, you just want to be darting in, killing workers, and getting out. You don't want to be taking pot shots like this. I think he's lost more Mutalisks than he's killed workers so far. So we're really seeing these Mutalisks do nothing, and with the Protoss gearing up, looks like towards Templar tech, we can expect a pretty strong ground army coming out pretty soon that the Zerg's got to deal with. And with just now getting their Jakeplissken, I'm not sure if they're going to have the army to be able to stop anything that comes out for the Protoss. Especially since, with the Mutalisks so weakened, these Corsairs can go to town on any, lingering overlords.
Well, Zerg does have Scourge, right? As long as FTDuDe doesn't get a critical amount of Corsairs, in which you can pot shot basically the Scourge in 1 hit, the Zerg should be okay. The Scourge are naturally enough to defend against this number of Corsairs so far.
Yeah, but he's clearing past all of them. He's made it past the screen that Mad's put around the Protoss player. Now he's in the third, and he's got 2 exposed Overlords. And let's look for a reaction from the Zerg player. The Scourge are still not on the way. Just now.
Right. Yeah, you can see he's rallying back his Scourge. But yeah, the Zerg is definitely in some trouble. The Protoss definitely ahead at this stage. That early Mutalisk harass basically did no damage and was countered, pretty heavily, right? So it's up to I'm Mad right now to I feel to defend successfully, kind of, and try to build up his economy and army.
With a supply block and these Zealots moving out to the third, there's only 3 Jakeplissken is sunken. I think this third is as good as dead. We got some reinforcements coming out from the natural, but I think these Zealots can stall, especially at the top of the ramp, to defeat that. Look how much damage these two Zealots at the top of the ramp can take, but.
Right, yeah, you can really see like the Protoss' advantage come into play now, you know. With that Mutila's Harass doing, you know, basically 0, you can really see how ahead he is now, being able to, you know, take the third with impunity actually right now, right? If the Zerg opened up with like Hydras instead of Mutilas, I honestly feel like this wouldn't have happened because he would have a larger ground force, right?
Right, yeah, he was really making a gamble on those Mutilas, right? He needed to get some damage done. As it was, he pretty much just donated like 2 minutes to the Protoss player for him to build up an army and get an advantage over him. You know, if more Zealots being rallied in, this third is dead. The Zerg is still in layer tech, and the Protoss is building up the Templars.
Right, so at this point, with losing 2 hatcheries and his evolution bay, and at his third, I don't see how the Zerg can come back from this.
Yeah, I mean, FTDuDe is doing an excellent job back home macroing. You know, he's floating a little bit of money actually. I'd like to see him throw in a few more gateways. Just anything you can do to spend money is better than spending. It's better to spend your money than to spend it smart. So I know it can get frantic in these situations, but I feel like running the Zealots in is probably going to win him the game. But he might be better off just going back at home and focusing on some macro to get further ahead.
Well, we see some reinforcement streaming down, right, to the natural from the FTDuDe, and I think with these reinforcing Zealots, the game will be over. You can see him like moving in. Man's desperately trying to rally more Hydralists to defend, but with so many like new Zealots streaming in,
Yeah, with no Lurkers or SimCity or Sunkens, there's really not much you can do to be defensive with Hydralists in this position.
Right. And you think he's taken basically critical damage. All his drones have fallen in his natural, right? He has no third. Doesn't even have doesn't have the economy actually even now to make a full round Hydralist from all his remaining hatcheries. So, I mean, these metas can I guess slowly take down. Oh well, we already see the good game.
Yeah, we've seen a GG. So we're seeing a pretty excellent game from Dude. He really was reacting well to everything that got thrown at him and attacking with the right timings and doing the right macro moves behind it.
Right. Yeah, good game out of Protoss. Yeah, very good game out of Protoss.
Yeah, I think the only things I saw him being able to improve on are just his macro in the background.
Yeah, Mac, I do agree. I mean, it's always good to keep that money low, but at the same time, I mean, it's really, really hard, when you got you gotta like micro your Zealots and all that, right?
I mean, I feel like as a Terran player, it's super hard to do that just because your units are so, fragile. But as Protoss, I mean, you got Zealots going off against Hydralists. It's a bit easier to maybe take 5 or 10 seconds to just comfortably look away from the action to get that next round out.
Right. I mean, both sides obviously have to like micro, right? But I think the onus is a little bit on the Zerg because the Hydralists are just a bit more squishy, of course, right? So
right. Yeah, Protoss, you really don't. The only time you really have to worry about microing is when there's just a bunch of Zerglings out, or there are Lurkers out, and you just don't want to run into them. And so I think that situation, I think being able to recognize when you can take time to look away to macro is really an important skill to develop. But yeah, going on to this next game, we're actually going into TVZ, something I feel a lot more qualified to cast. With Scaramanga, our Terran player, yellow in the top left, and Mad, the Zerg player we've seen in the last 2 games, in the top right.
All right, so you see like Mad scouting south again.
Right, it's the typical scouting pattern.
It's to so he can basically leave his Overlord just right outside the Terran natural and above the water, right? Where you can see any kind of move out if the Terran was there. I see Scaramanga going for a 9 depot. Quite standard. Nothing out of the ordinary right now.
So the real question is already to see Mad go for I guess as a Terran player, what I'm always looking for, right? With my first scout, if I get lucky and get my first Terran, SUV scout into the Zerg base, I'm looking to see, did they go for a hatchery first or for spawning pool? Because if they go for a hatchery first in their natural, I'm very comfortable in not building any Marines or throwing down extra supply depot until I get my first CC.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Without a spawning pool first as Terran, yeah, you can really get your early CC first and not be afraid of any Zergling, you know, like flood in or something like that, right?
Right. I guess one thing I've been toying around with lately is just you know, dealing with speedling pressure from CPL player George here. You know, he does. I feel very vulnerable when I only have one barracks. So kind of the build I've been going on lately is, you know, I get my first barracks, then a refinery, academy, and an engineering bay before I add on any extra barracks. But one thing I've seen people toying around with is adding a second barracks on pretty quickly. Do you know anything about that move, or you know what the appropriate build is?
Well, actually, hold on. I just want to get back to this game real quick, so you can actually see Scaramanga sending. I'm not really sure why he did that. He sends his first SV, I think it was like bottom right, but now he's sending another one, right? Like sending the original scouting SV back to his base while sending another one back to
scout a little sloppy.
I'm not really sure why I did that, but he is gonna see the 3 quick hatches in succession, right? And he sees the spawning pool just finished now, so he's there's not gonna be any Zerglings coming in, you know, anytime soon to attack him. Okay, the drone is now coming into Mad's base. 2 Marines though should be able to deny the scout, yeah, and it does. So I don't think Mad saw too much of what Scaramanga was doing.
Well, you know, I think seeing the CC this early on, right, you kind of know as a Zerg player that there can't be much behind this, right?
Right, yeah.
Unless maybe it's you know, a gas play with you know, a 2-port Wraith or Goliath's factory play. But that's pretty rare at these levels.
Okay, so you see Mad moving the Zerglings out. These Zerglings will probably be just put in front of the Terran's base, just to see if there's any, you know, like move out by the Marines or anything, right? We would probably poke in and out also to see the Marine count.
Yeah, one thing I'm not liking that I'm seeing from Scaramanga is this third depot in the main. One thing I always like to do, microing against to help micro against Zerg players, is throw my third depot down at the same time next to my natural, just to help deal with Zerglings, because you can get your Marines behind there and you can stop a lot of Zerglings. You see him throwing down a bunker to kind of help with that, but at the same time, that's a lot of money to be investing this early on. And you can see that with the amount of Zerglings on the field, it's kind of an unnecessary cost. I think you could have gotten away with just a depot.
Right, but you have to also like figure in that Scaramanga doesn't know though. I mean, Mad could still be going for all speedling, like a speedling, all, you know, huge speedling push. Sorry, right? So
yeah, I think
so he's just trying to play safe.
Yeah, I think you know, the way to stop that really is just have good SCV control and have your SCV in their base long enough to be able to detect that. We actually see factory get thrown down by Scaramanga, and you know, we actually he's actually getting a machine shop first. What do you think this play is?
Well, looking at Scaramanga's build, I would say it's kind of like a modified 1-1-1 build, since he's getting into 1 barracks, 1 faction, 1 starport. And the reason why I say modified is because, oh, okay, forget what I just said totally. He's lifted his barracks and he's getting an armory. So this kind of leads me to think that he's maybe trying to do that Goliath play that you're saying earlier. Like, you mean you were like, oh, we don't really see it at this level, but it looks like Scaramanga may be trying to do it. I'm not really sure.
I mean, Mad just sees that floated rack, so he's gonna know something's up. Even running his Zerglings in, I don't know if that's worth it.
Well, he at least gets the scouting. He knows exactly what's happening now, right? He sees all of Scaramanga's tech and everything.
Right. He knows he's going to need some Scourge to fend off any Wraiths or Hydras. And with the armory,
already on the way though.
Yeah, if the armor, you know, seeing the armor, he definitely knows what to prepare for now. As a Zerg player, I think whenever Terran's meching, you really want to just go for a heavy Hydra composition early on. Or maybe, and then maybe tech switch later on into a heavier Muta composition.
Yeah, right. Like the usual response to seeing a Terran mech, and which he knows for sure, and which the Zerg knows for sure now, because he's seen that second factory go down, right?
Right.
Is usually a heavy Hydralisk composition, but since he's gone Spar first, he actually does have a little bit of a window to do damage. Okay. since you can see the army's just now finished, right? And he's actually Scaramanga is actually getting vultures instead of Goliaths, right?
Yeah, so what happened here, right? Because typically the 1-1-1 play is you go for a factory first, you go for barracks, you build very minimal marines, you get factory out, and you send out some vultures, and then you get a wraith. And the idea is the vultures help contain against zerglings, and the wraith kills maybe one or two overlords. So what exactly is stopping Zerg players from just going pure mutas in reaction to 1-1-1? Why do they need those hydras? Is it just to stop that initial vulture, or?
Yeah, there's several reasons actually. Yeah, there could be like vulture run by or something like that, and you can't deal with it with the zerglings because the vultures can micro forever, right?
Right, but
let's put that on hold. We can see the six mutalists coming into the base. Scaramanga is
Valkyries
not
popped
ready.
out.
He has one Valkyrie, but I mean with one Valkyrie with minimal micros, you can see it's gonna get sniped, and the turrets are not yet up, so. Yeah, with more mutalists coming, 8 mutalists now. Turrets again not finished at the main. I think that this attack by the Zerg will do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think the Zerg's gonna be able to kill tons here, right? This turret's gonna go down. There's one Valkyrie coming out. All the Marines are down. There's no stem. Maybe some Goliaths are gonna come out, but the Terran's gonna start running low on money pretty quick here. I think this is GG. There's really nothing for the Terran player to do.
Well, there was one silver lining. He managed to, Scaramanga managed to actually deny the third from WhyI'mNoob, right, with his vultures. So there's a little bit of a silver lining. Okay, you can see the Valkyrie coming out now. Mutalisk not really spreading, or not really spreading that well, so taking a ton of damage. See, all the Mutalisks are almost dead, all in the red.
If he was just a little bit more conservative with that Valkyrie, he could have actually stopped this.
Right, and if he got Goliath right away, right, instead of just getting the vultures, right? So many, well, he got like 3 vultures and mines first, right?
Well, we might actually see these Valkyries finally pay off and put an end to this aggression. But at this point, I think maybe the damage has been done.
Yeah, I fear it's a little too little, too late, right? The Mutalisks have already paid for their weight in gold, right? So many SCVs have died.
Right, the Zerg player is going to have tons of time to prepare for, whatever mech push-up that's coming, right?
Right. Looks like actually Matt is opting to get even more Mutalisks right now, and which is actually not a bad option, because at this early stage with only 2 factories and knowing the Terran's taking so much economic damage, you can actually overwhelm a mech force with pure Mutalisks and Zergling.
Well, Scaramanga's going to see it with his mines, though, so really the correct reaction here is he just has to survive, right? He needs to throw down a few more turrets. He needs to get this anti-air group ready to pounce. Right. But if Scaramanga just Matt just continually hits and runs, Scaramanga's gonna have a really hard time competing against this. But it looks like Matt pulled back, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Matt's actually gearing up to take his third. He's main-arding a drone up to the 3 o'clock. Scaramanga is actually going to see the timing of this again with his spider mines, which is good. Looks like he's going to clear some mines without Overlord moving up.
Yeah, actually, the more I look at this, I'm not, well, if Scaramanga can get a science vessel out, well, he's actually going pure Valkyries. I'm not so sure that this, Meta Switch is going to be able to actually do that much damage the more he waits. I'm assuming Goliath range is already done. 3 Valkyries. Soon he's going to have 3 Valkyries. Goliath range, he's going to be able to really react really well against anything the mutas try to do.
Right. Mass Mutalisk does work against mech if you get huge numbers of them early on in the game. There comes a point, like where when the Valkyries numbers get too high, and when the Goliath numbers gets too high, you have to really switch into that more commonly seen Hydralist play. And you can see actually Matt, he is already switching into Hydralist play, and is naturally starting to mass up Hydras.
Yeah, I think really as a Terran player, this is not the time for him to move. I think he's feeling the pressure because of all the damage he took, but he's really not in that bad of a situation. Zerg is just now getting his third. Terran,
oh no, losing all 3 of those Valkyries.
That's
Well, at least 2 of them, yeah, before the armies fight. So with this loss, yeah, Scaramanga's got to pull back. He knows he can't take this army head on anymore.
Yeah, I think that's what I was saying, right? Like, he really needed time to fill out that army with some tanks and Goliaths and some more Valkyries, because he was pretty fragile moving out. And he wasn't in that bad of an economic situation. I think he thought he was, but if he had just waited, 2 more minutes, waited for an upgrade to get out, he would be in much better position.
Right. I actually think Matt still does have a big advantage, but a reason why his army isn't out of control by now is he's actually slipping a bit on the macro. I feel you can see he's stockpiling a bit of minerals and gas.
It's got really high saturation as natural, actually, right? Is versus mech, or do Zergs go for a heavier saturation count, or is that just a mistake?
To be honest, I'm not sure because Zerg is my worst race. But yeah, for sure, that's a little bit too much saturation on natural. He should really begin maynarding some drones from his natural to his third. One thing I do know about the Zerg is against this kind of mech play, you really have to grab more bases. And yeah, you can see already, Matt, he's already ahead of me. He's already grabbing his 4th at the 4 o'clock.
Right.
That's good. Yeah. So now the onus is actually really on Scaramanga. I think what he was trying to do was a mech play, although, as I said, I was a little bit confused at the beginning because of how he was building it. But with only three factories, like now against soon to be 4 base Zerg, rattling Hydralisks out and such, I feel like he's got him, like he's moving out now, I can see, but yeah, he's got to make a move now before the Zerg just gets too big, right, and overpowers him.
We still don't even have Goliath range, yeah. I think this is, I think Terran might slimly win this, but it's going to cost him too much. And we see the GG.
Games, yeah, it's over, yeah.
Yeah, I think, I think Scaramanga did a good job. He just needed to, yeah, I think the beginning of that opening is a little bit weird, right? Lifting your racks that early, I don't know if that's the proper play. And also, losing a lot of his Valkyries early on put him pretty far behind. If he had just kept a few of those alive and also had maybe turrets up, 1 or 2 more spots, I think he could have reacted pretty well to that meter pressure.
Right, yeah. I think it's just a little bit of a misstep in the build order if you're going to go mech, right?
Right. Yeah, I think, for me, I consider myself like a decent player, but I really don't know what I'm doing when it comes to 1-1-1 or mech play. I think it's really hard. It's really easy to just have a build order loss or like not ranked properly and lose. So that's one thing I'm always, I think it's way harder than SK Terran, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, great game out of Zerg though. I will say, did a ton of damage. Stopped the Terran from moving out, sniped all those Valkyries early, so giving them good map control.
Yeah, I think he could have done some more. He could have done some more damage with the Sminos, right? When they first popped out, there was a lot of, he wasn't going in too aggressively with them when he could have, I think.
All right, so we have now our PvP, a Protoss versus Protoss. Timbalmba, top right, Cameloid, top left.
Yeah, so, we casted one of these before, right? And, I guess what we kind of saw there was one player switching into DTs and just kind of forcing the other player into an unwinnable position. I think that kind of can happen in, PvP a lot, is that one player can take initiative and go, get the tech for Reavers or DTs and kind of force the other player into a more defensive posture. I think that kind of happens actually in a lot of matchups. In TVT, you have, you have Ultra Pressure get brought with Spider Mines. In ZVZ, you have players that go for heavy circling pressure as opposed to taking up Mutalists. So, I guess we'll see what happens in this game.
Yeah, definitely. Protoss versus Protoss. Actually a very diverse matchup. A lot of different builds you can do, a lot of different strategies. So, I mean, as you were mentioning earlier, the previous cast we did, we saw PvP with fast DTs. I mean, yeah, really excited to see what these two players will do. All right, so we see Purple actually scouting Timbalmba, scouting Cameloid first. Yeah, he sees the one gate. He sees no gas yet, so that's actually pretty crucial. Cameloid, fortunately, he's scouting the right way as well, right? Not scouting down.
Oh, proxy pylon being thrown down in the middle line. I don't know if this is effective actually. Oh, two actually getting thrown down.
Yeah, he's trying to like slow down the mining, like by putting these pylons down.
Yeah, I think
the first pylon in the wrong place, not really obstructing the mining. Second one's a lot better.
Right. I think, the right thing is to cancel that first one, actually. I think that's going to put Timbalmba behind more than Cameloid. But probably should see...
No, my apologies. It was actually Cameloid through that pylon.
Oh.
He threw the pylon down his own.
Oh, is that like supposed to boost your mineral mining or something, or...?
No, I think actually that was... I was like trying to counter Timbalmba's attempt to put, a pylon there to trap, his probes and stuff.
Oh, wow. Because, typically, I guess, the best way to counter that, right, is to just kind of put a probe in the mineral line, right, to stop it. I'm surprised to see the Zealot actually moving out. It's not going for the pylon. I think this is the wrong play, actually.
Yeah, he's trying to get something done, rallying his Zealot down, because you can also see Cameloid has his gas capped by Timbalmba, forcing him into a 2-gate situation. So he's got to like try to break Timbalmba right now before he gets too much of a tech advantage.
We're seeing that probe actually come in handy. But I think Timbalmba probably saw that first Zealot come in, right? And with only one gateway, it really isn't the right move to try. You can't just kind of react with the pressure when you're going for an eco play like that. Like, if you only have one gateway and the opponent only goes one gateway and something bad happens to you, you can't all of a sudden say to yourself, like, oh, I'm going to put pressure, right? It's just not going to work.
Well, you're speaking about Cameloid, right? Against nothing?
Right, yeah. I think Cameloid was like, okay, I got proxied in my mineral line. I'm upset. Let me send that first Zealot out. I'm actually surprised Timbalmba does not have more, at least a second Zealot out yet. So maybe he did make the right play.
Yeah, I think actually, Cameloid, I think he did make the right play, but it was kind of like a blind play because he didn't know that Timbalmba was actually going for a Cybercore behind it. Timbalmba could have easily thrown down the second gate in lieu of the Cybercore, and he'd be completely fine. But now with because he did opt to go tech first, this counterattack looks to be in a very, very strong position right now, and I'm honestly not sure what Timbalmba can do to stop this. He really needs to pull his probes right now, because he knows that Cameloid will continually be rallying more and more Zealots, right? He has to be able to kill these Zealots in his main and hold the ramp.
I think this is pretty much game over, right? With 4 Zealots in here for Cameloid.
Right, and he actually lost one of the gates as well, so now his production is cut in half.
Yeah, you see him queuing up more Zealots. Yeah, this game's over.
Yeah, that's a good game.
Well, I'm showing my ignorance with PvP because it looks like Cameloid made the exact right play. But I feel like that worked because Timbalmba didn't, react directly, right? If we go back and we look, right, what happens as soon as that first Zealot comes out? I'm kind of curious what Timbalmba sees.
Well, I actually, in my opinion, I actually do think it was more of a right play to do, because the thing is that, like, your economy is going to be a little behind because of that pylon block, and your gas is already capped, so you have 2 gates, right?
Right, but so, I mean, right now,
you might as well try to get something done, right? If like the Timbalmba had actually gone for 2 gates before his Cybercore, or if he managed to hold his yeah, no problem.
Yeah, but let's see, right? Because right now they're both needing 1 Zealot out, right? So how does Cameloid, how does Cameloid get more Zealots than Timbalmba? Let's just look at Timbalmba's view. He has to know something's coming out of this, right? And then he sees the second gateway coming up, right? So his reaction should be, okay, like, an attack is coming. I need to keep pumping out Zealots, but we're not seeing any production out of Timbalmba, right?
Yeah, I think that was just a little bit of a slip, up.
Yeah,
right?
so
if he had been able to hold, like, again, like that high ground, he would be
Right.
completely fine, right? So
Yeah, I mean, we're not seeing Timbalmba continue production out of his first gateway. You know, this whole time, we're not seeing it, right? So, you know, from the time that he made his first Zealot and he saw Cameloid's first Zealot come out at his base, um, to the time that Cameloid had a Zealot in Timbalmba's base, Timbalmba just wasn't making things. And at that point, it was just too late. He couldn't catch up with the production. So I think, yeah, I think Timbalmba could have reacted better. I think Cameloid, technically that was the wrong, well, it might have been, it worked out in this game, but I think Timbalmba could have reacted to that and just made it, you know, ineffective.
right.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know anything about PvP, so. Cameloid, not Camelid. Okay. Yeah, I think that was just like an example of like a lot of the times in StarCraft it's more important to be able to kind of think about what your opponent is doing rather than like try and fix any specific build order that you're trying to do, right? Like reacting to what your opponent is doing is way more important, I'd say. But I think that's a skill that comes with time, and just kind of doing build orders is the first step going towards that.
Right. So yeah, great game out of Cameloid. I think in summary, yeah, great plays. I think well, I think he made the right call. So okay, so in the top right we have Scaramanga as our Terran player, and Ratrap, our Protoss player in the bottom left. I think we've seen both these players play before.
Yeah, so Ratrap was the Protoss who did a pretty good job of demolishing Mad. And then
That's right, he was in the first game, I think.
And then Scaramanga, what have we seen from him? He went for the mech play against Mad. So, you know, TVP, we'll see what he pulls out. I think as a Terran player, you can't. There's not really like you know, TVZ you can go mech or bio, but TVP you really have to stick to just pure mech. So maybe I think we'll see a more conventional game from Scaramanga.
Right. Yeah, as you said, yeah, it's all about mech for the Terran and TVP. Although there's you know, a couple of builds where you can actually go, you know, mass marines, right?
Right.
Deep
That's
6,
yeah.
right?
Deep 6 is definitely a play you can make, but it's very rare to see actually get done. The only other thing that you can see sometimes is the kind of when a Protoss throws down a 12 Nexus, you just push with Marines and Vultures in a bunker. But in these positions, we're probably not going to have the Terran be able to do that. And we're not even seeing the Protoss go 12 Nexus.
And with the 4-player map, the quick push off to deny 12 Nexus actually also depends on luck. Scout it first, right? If you scout that last as well, you know, that the Protoss can actually, depending on what they did, if they had 2 gates or something like that, like they can actually deny that kind of push.
Yeah, it's very situational. So yeah, well, we're actually seeing out of Scaramanga improper barracks placement, right? That barracks should be actually to the, you know, the right side of the barracks should be touching the left side of the depot, correct?
Right. Well, yeah. Yeah, he's trying to build up a little bit of a sim city. You can see, right? Just in case there's any kind of zealot pressure. But I don't think there'll be any zealot pressure coming out. Going over to Ratrap's base, you see he's playing a really standard game. I saw the gas actually going up at 12, and then Cybercore once the gate's done, and Palon going down, right, at 14.
Right.
We can actually get at 15 as well, but I mean, it seems to be a pretty standard game coming out of him.
Yeah, we should be expecting to see a Nexus go down pretty quick, and yeah, Ratrap is playing pretty conservatively. We're gonna probably see him get a few Dragoons out just to, you know, be able to defend any, you know, early pressure that comes out of Scaramanga. But for the most part, yeah, we should see both players switch into you know, a macro game pretty quick.
I think Scaramanga making a little bit of a mistake. He pulled all his SCVs off gas, so he's stuck at 96 or. Okay, actually no, it looks like he's planning to go command center first, is he? Or because he's got a SCV down on his natural already. And yeah, it looks like he actually will be doing fast command center.
Yeah, I think that was, I don't think that's really a build though, right? Like, I don't think anyone ever goes for I think you either go for like a very early CC, or you know the typical factory first then a CC, right? Like,
Yeah, I'm a little bit actually confused why he mined basically, 96 gas and then didn't build a factory and then opted to go for a command center first. You can see actually the Protoss, because he scouted it, he's going to react to this build perfectly. Instead of going for a Nexus, he's throwing down 2 gates, right? Because he knows that with a fast command center, there's no way the Terran can have a tank out or even have a factory close to finishing right now, right? So with a 2 gate like pressure, especially with 2 gate goon pressure, you can really do you really punish this kind of build, right? That's what Scaramanga is doing.
Yeah, the factory's not.
You see a bunker. What?
Yeah, the bunker's the right play here, but actually, you know, I wonder if we could probably see just a Dragoon run by happen here, because typically what happens, right, is when you go for early CC without tank support, is you're getting a Sim City that allows you to stop any run bys or sellout play, but this is all a little bit too late, I'd say. He's even trying to move out to put pressure with his 2 Marines, which is a little odd.
Right, like especially what you were saying about Sim City earlier. Actually, yeah, without the barracks in position, by the bunker, like Protosses, if they get like let's say 4 Dragoons or something, they can just run by the bunker into your main, right? Yeah. They can't react with SCVs. It's basically game over. All right, you see a scouting SCV come down from Sci.Scaramanga. He's going to see that the Protoss has not gotten his Nexus yet, and it's already past the 420, 430 mark, so he's got to know something's up.
Right.
He's going to scout the 2 gateways, but let's see if he can scout the Templar Archives coming out actually, so it looks like it'll be fast DPs in response to this.
Yeah, I mean, when you see only 2 gateways and no Nexus, actually going back to the natural, are we going to see a run by? Oh, Scaramanga throwing down the Sim City.
Scaramanga it up just in time with an engineering bay and supply depot. And yeah, actually, Scaramanga actually reacting correctly to this. He already had dropped that engineering bay, which will allow him to get turrets.
He sees the Citadel, so he should know that this is going to be a DT play. And actually, with the Sim City, he even is going to be all. I think this is DTs can't walk. There's not too many gaps for DTs to walk through here. So if we get another tank out to end this pressure, I think Scaramanga is actually in an excellent position.
Right, but he really has to finish an engineering bay. I mean, you shouldn't leave it unfinished.
Right.
It is down, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think this Sim City's going to buy him some time, but he definitely needs that turret to get up at some point.
Right, and if he lets the engineering bay down, die, the DTs will be able to walk into his main. With no detection, it will be.
He even cancels it, actually.
Canceled it.
I think.
Dragoon's moving forward, maybe picking up. He manages to snipe the tank, so now this is a really, really bad position for Scaramanga.
Right. And we even see 2 TTs about to pop out of the gateway, so I don't think there's anything that Scaramanga can do. He has siege mode researching, he has no detection, engineering bay coming up in the main. But he should have. Maybe I think as a Terran player, sometimes you're so busy microing, you're trying to survive against Dragoons, you don't pay attention to your scarcity. I think he just didn't notice the Citadel, because canceling that engineering makes no sense otherwise.
Right. And I'd just like to note, actually, he's pulled too many SCVs. The rule of thumb is you only need 1 SCV per Protoss Dragoon shooting at your bunker. So, all right, we see 1 missile turret coming up at the natural. It's literally a race against time, though. You can see those DTs coming in. But unfortunately, he's not going to put any more turrets in his main, which actually makes sense because you don't want to spend extra minerals. But in this case, the DTs can just run by, right? And he's not even going to get that turret finished. And with added Dragoon pressure, I think this is the end.
Yeah.
With no mines, anything coming out.
Well, yeah, I mean, the only thing that you really can do to stop this is just have SCVs main arena from the natural to the main, and hopefully blocking the ramp. But that didn't happen, and with that, there's nothing to stop these Dragoons.
Right. So you see the good game coming out of Scaramanga. Great play by Ratrap this game, I think. Really seeing really good scouting. I mean, seeing that Scaramanga was going, fast command center, right?
Yeah.
And instead of he started off a standard game, but he modified exactly what you were saying the last game. Instead of just following the blind build order, he reacted to it, got the 2 gates. He went for quick DT tech, right?
Right.
And it really paid off, so.
Yeah. So I mean,
clean game from Ratrap. That's what I can say. Clean game.
I think Scaramanga had the opportunity to actually win that, though. If you look at his scout, right?
Yeah, it was at that point where he actually scouted the Citadel and stuff. I'm not quite sure why he didn't end up finishing that engineering bay, or even if he thought the engineering bay couldn't finish, why he wouldn't start another one in the in the main, because he knows that he's got to know that DTs are coming, right?
Right, because I mean, his first scout actually saw these 2 gateways, right? And then he sent his second scout in here, and he sees there's still only 2 gateways.
Yeah, no nexus at at beyond the 4-minute mark,
right?
So he knows it's got to either be DTs or Reavers coming in, or some kind of bust, right? So
yeah, so but I mean, before he even sees the Citadel over here, he's got to know, okay, tech is coming. And I think the catch-all in this situation is actually, I think actually, what do you think is the better thing to do? Is it Academy or is it Engineering Bay? Because I feel like with 2 CCs, Academy might, Comstats might be the better play.
All right, here's my totally unprofessional, totally amateur view on this. Actually, yeah, you are right. Actually, Academy is actually better. You can see a lot of the pros going Academy, but since I'm not good and I suck, like I always go turrets, because it feels safer to me, because turrets also protect you against any kind of elevator play if they have a shuttle or something, right? But again, you shouldn't really have to worry about shuttle, because you see the Citadel. He's like the Protoss off one base. He can't be going Citadel and robotics at the same time, right? So
yeah, I mean I think
yeah. So yeah,
I think
Comsat is the right decision, actually.
Yeah, I think.
But for noobs like me, Engineering Bay.
Yeah, I think if he got in here and only saw these 2 gateways, but then this tech was proxied, say, somewhere else, right? And he gets in here and sees nothing. I think turrets are the right play, because you got to be able to direct the DTs and Reavers.
Absolutely, it could be robo, right? It could be a robotics facility, so absolutely.
But as soon as you see this tech, I think Comstats are the Academy is the right way. Even saying that, there's been so many times where I think you have to get both, actually. I think you get Academy first, but you also get Engineering Bay, because Protoss are dirty, right? They'll make you drain your Comstat energy, and then they'll also they'll do shuttles into your main, right? So I think you want to get both.
Run in and out in waster scans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, what I was saying was that but if you see a Protoss on one base and you can see that he's gone for Citadel, and the Templar Archives is gonna follow up, the turrets isn't super important at that stage, because he can't be getting a robotics. There's no way he can afford, let's say, robotics, shuttle, and DTs, and 2 gates, heavy goon pressure off one base, right?
Right.
So, but yeah, you do eventually want to get your Engineering Bay as well, right? I mean, I'm not saying it's not an important building, right? But structure, sorry, but. Yeah, so as I said in the inclusion, I think that was a great game by Protoss, right? Good scouting. He saw exactly what the Terran was doing, and great reaction, right? Once again.
Yeah. I'm actually realizing that Ratrap is an alias of Cameloid, so I gotta change that.
So it's great play by Cameloid, then.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, we're seeing some pretty good games here. We're not seeing any too long games, unfortunately, but I think I'm pretty happy with seeing what Cameloid did that game. That reaction, that's I think really impressive.
Yeah. All right, so top right we got Scaramanga again. Bottom left, FTDuDe. Of course, Scaramanga being the Terran player, FTDuDe being the Protoss player. Looks like they have the exact same positions again. So
yeah,
we'll see how this game plays out.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Scaramanga did have the wrong Sin City at his base, right? I think.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I think it was okay, because the Protoss he didn't pressure at all with early Zealots. But I think the biggest thing Scaramanga I had to improve on last game, and actually the previous game we saw against the Zerg, was the build order. Because if he's going for fast CC, that's not the right build, for fast CC, right?
Yeah, the right build for fast CC, right, is you go ahead and you throw down your CC first here with one
it's gasless, right?
Yeah,
it's gasless.
Before your gas, you're throwing down a CC at your natural, and then you're also throwing down accompanying supply depot by that. You're throwing down your barracks first at your natural, right? And then it's your CC, and then it's a depot to complete the wall.
Yeah, you kind of want a mini Sim City there, right? And Like I just didn't really understand why, like in last game, you would get 96 gas and then take, and then
Yeah.
build your CC and then go back and then. Well, anyway.
Yeah, I have a feeling he just got tilted because of the the 96 gas. He thought, oh man, I screwed this up too bad. I gotta get back ahead. But I think.
Oh, like a little catch up, right? Like okay,
yeah.
At least I'll get a little bit of economic.
But I think.
I don't know.
But that was a pretty big reach, right? Like sometimes it's okay to make little mistakes, right? But don't let them lead you into bigger mistakes. And we're still seeing the same city of Scaramanga again, actually. So one of these days he's going to get Zealots rallied into his base, and he's going to learn not to do this, I think, right? Because that is not Marine. Marines can't walk between this barracks and depot. But we're seeing him get, a refinery, so I think we're going to see him go for the same play. And hopefully he'll make sure to get that 96 gas all the way up to 100.
Alright, we see the Protoss FTDuDe. He's going the super standard Protoss build again. 12 gas, core after gateway. He's probably going to get another pylon on 14 or 15 probe, but he's got to actually start building another probe. Maybe he's a little bit too busy microing his probe out at Scaramanga's base. I think FTDuDe paying a little too much attention at the main, and he doesn't even have probes on gas right now, and he really needs that.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a proxy pylon, and we see
an excellent block.
Yeah,
we can see like 2 SCVs trapped, and it's not only SCVs trapped. If you throw down the pylons in the right place, you can actually screw up how the mining. How the mining is, so the SCVs can see they're going around, right?
We actually see him. He pops one of the SCVs out, so that's the right reaction. I'm not so sure that pulling 3 SCVs is, because he already has 1 Marine to do that damage.
Right, and you can see Scaramanga again going for that fast CC while he already has 240 gas collected.
Oh my goodness. Did we just see him get tilted again and say, "God damn Protoss, I just gotta get ahead"?
Here's a saving grace though. The probe I don't think actually scouted that fast CC, so FTDuDe might just continue playing standard and not put any pressure. So if Scaramanga can actually get this fast CC up and hold it in this position, he will actually be ahead, right?
We're gonna have to see a bunker get thrown down ASAP, because it's gonna.
Yeah, you can see the goon is coming across the map right now. So.
I mean, at this point, I don't think a bunker would even finish in time, and we've seen one more Marine's gonna be up by the time this happens. I think Scaramanga just I think he just set himself up for failure yet again. And I think we see the Protoss even going for DTs this game. Or is Scaramanga going to get DT rush both games?
Again for sure. So, unfortunately, this will be a pretty hard counter unless Scaramanga can scout this. It is also noted 2 Marines cannot kill the Dragoon. It will be able to beat them. Okay, well now the bunker's done, so it'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean,
if that Dragoon had been able to stop that bunker, he could have just won the fight straight up.
Yeah, just barely getting up in time, and even Scaramanga or FTDuDe could have walked that Dragoon up the ramp and been annoying as hell with that, I think, right? Do you think with 1 Dragoon it's worth it to walk up a ramp like that?
No, because like with only 1 Dragoon, it's like the Terran can just unload like let's say 2 Marines out of his 3 Marines that Scaramanga has now, and just use some SCVs, right, to take it out.
So Scaramanga got an SCV in. But it's dead now.
Not to mention, he saw the Citadel. So it's up to see if he can react correctly now and start to throw down some kind of detection.
The proper reaction is going to be to get mines, right? And along with some detection. We're not seeing that though, actually.
And mines, because In these cases where Scaramanga also scouted that the Nexus were actually late and he saw the fast Citadel. Yeah, you can actually go speed and mines first, and because the Protoss won't have like any kind of observer out, right?
Right.
And you can actually do a lot of damage to the Protoss,
But we actually see the Protoss player not taking it into a Templar Archives. He's just sticking on Citadel and getting Zealot legs. So are we just going to see one of these busts that happens pretty early on? Where the Protoss
you can actually notice he cancelled his natural, right? And then he threw down 3 extra gates with it. So it looks like it'll be some kind of modified Bulldog-ish like build coming out of FTDuDe.
I think this is just going to be mass Zealots, actually. That every once in a while this will happen to me, and I'll get so annoyed when I lose to it. Yeah. And it can be just kind of hard to spot, right? Because to stop it, what you really need is mine setup.
Modified Bulldog.
Right.
Yeah. I believe Scaramanga actually is in a good position, inadvertently because he did this. He went siege first, which will actually really help him out against the dragoons. And if he can get a good SimCity up at his natural and keep it tight, you know, with siege mode first and good repair, you can actually like totally shut down this kind of a bulldog play.
Yeah, but I think even with siege tanks, the only way it survives, right, is having a proper minefield set up. And you know,
well, you can get a SimCity, right, a block at your front, right? And
yeah,
that'll allow you to survive as well.
You have a SimCity or you have a minefield set up, and you know, I don't know if he's going to know to do either of this. Probably right now he's thinking to himself, okay, Protoss, you know, didn't have a natural for a while, but I'm sure he has one by now. And you know, I just need to maybe play a little bit safe, and I'll get my, you know, I'll tech up to a few more factories, and I'll get my third. But you know, that's really just not going to happen. You know, and with no scouting on the map, he's just blind to this. And he even went ahead and got, you know, an engineering bay turrets, 3 turrets.
A little bit of a mind game actually coming out from FTDuDe, right? You know, canceling that Nexus and going for a mass like gates instead, right?
Right.
So yeah, this will actually be basically an all-in from FTDuDe. We'll see how much he can get done. Scaramanga, all he needs to do really right now is survive. Maybe land an engineering bay in front of his bunker, right?
Yeah, he sees the zealots with scouting vulture, right? So is he going to react? We're not seeing anything.
He sees this. He's got to start landing the engineering bay now. But here comes the attack. The tanks are not even on the high ground siege. Zealots flooding through. SCVs have not. They're pulled now, but I think it's a little bit too late. The bunker will be focused down. Situation looks tense for Scaramanga. FTDuDe flooding more and more units from his main to Scaramanga's base. And yeah, it looks like it will be a good game.
Yeah, you know, I think Scaramanga has done a pretty good job with scouting with the second SCV, I think, both games. But, you know, he just didn't. He didn't do that this game, right? So if we just watch his vision...
Well, I actually think he did actually a pretty good job. He saw the Citadel. He reacted correctly this time. You know, he got the turrets up and everything, right?
Yeah. But, you know...
Yeah, so, I mean...
At this point on, right, he has his narrative of what he thinks is going to happen, right? But, you know, he never actually did see the Templar Archive. So, there, you know, Protoss does have the option. It didn't really cost the Protoss that much to switch, you know, into this. So, you know, I think he really just needed another scout. And that's really hard to do. But, you know...
No, I don't blame Scaramanga at all. You know, honestly, if I see a Citadel and I lose my scouting SCV, and then I see, like, you know, the Protoss throwing down a Nexus after that, I probably won't send another one, because I'm like, at that point I'm saying to myself, yeah, it's going to be, you know, pretty standard, like, you know, DT like kind of rush with the Nexus follow up, you know, something like that. Right?
Yeah.
So even I would be blindsided by this kind of, you know, modified like bulldog play, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really just well, let's look at it. You know, he really needed to do something to get out on the map and see what was going on, right? And I think, yet again, he went for turrets this game, where academies would have, you know, if we look at, but if we look when he gets his first turret up, right? That's probably around the first time if he went academy, he would get his first scan. So let's just kind of see what he would have seen if he had a turret, a comp stat up.
Right, that's exactly what we were talking about the last game, right, Sig? Like, you know, that's why the pros actually do comsat first, right, instead of when they see DT first, because with the comsat, like, you can deny the DTs, right, and when you know the DTs have been kind of like pushed away, you can drop one scan and you can see what's happening, right?
Yeah. So
if Scaramanga did have the scans and he saw no DTs were coming, like, he's like, well, where's the DTs? The time's already passed, right? He could have dropped one scan, saw 4 like gates, right, and then he would know immediately, right? So
yeah, I mean, so yeah, he would have had a comp stat now. He would have had 2 comp stats by now, and so one scan, he could have scouted all this, right? But you know, I guess even the fact that like no DTs were coming, that should have been a you know, a bit of a tell too, right? So
maybe, possibly not, because sometimes when the Protoss sees that you scouted their DT tech, like, they don't even try to, like, you know, like, push in with the Dark Templar, because that, like, they assume that, you know, there's turrets there and they're just going to throw away that DT, right? So, like, just to try to control the map, right, so to speak, right, and try to do whatever you do after, whatever follow-up. So
yeah, and I think we even see like a pretty heavy investment into more turrets, you know, at this time, right? And you know what's
right. I think it was a little bit of an over-investment in turrets, you know.
Yeah, because I mean, if it's DTs, you're already covered at the natural, and you already have 2 turrets in the main. And if it's, the only thing this is really good for is reavers, right?
Well, if it's against reavers, you don't even want to put your turrets next to your command center, right? You want to ring your base, right? For it the rule of thumb for turrets is for DTs you want the turrets close into your command centers and around your structures, but for reavers you want them ringing your base, right?
I don't know. Is that true? Because there have been a lot of times where I've been blind to it. Okay, is this a DT or is this a reaver? And I typically go for like 1 turret at the natural, 1 turret at the main. And just try and be really good, be really diligent with my unit micro to support that turret.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know like what it is, right? Yeah, you can just throw down your turrets next to. But if you know for sure what tech the Protoss is doing,
right?
Yeah, then you can like place your turrets accordingly, right?
Yeah. All right. So I think that was actually the last cast.
Last game.
Yeah. So it looks like we had.
That was quite a short.
Yeah, it was a shorter series than last time, so that was good actually. So yeah, I saw some good play out of these players, but a little bit short. So hopefully in the future we'll see some longer macro games come out.
Oh, Sig, if because this was quite a short cast, do you mind doing one fan cast? I saw a couple of games from one of my good friends from CPL last season, and yeah, he was asking me. If you guys got some time, yeah,
I think I have time.
Cast it, right?
I have time for one more. Yeah, so let's have
one real quick.
You can go ahead and host it.
Yeah, no problem. So this will actually be between Jake and Grimz.
Go on.
Jakeplissken and Grimz.
Is this a grudge match or is this just a typical CPL?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a grudge match. I think they're both pretty good friends. But yeah, they did play a little bit of a series. There's actually 2 games in this series, but if you only got time for one, right, it's fine. We can cast 1 game as well.
All right.
Yeah, no problem. So Jakeplissken and Grimz, this one's for you guys.
Oh dear. Having a little trouble joining your game.
Oh, do you want me to remake it or?
Trying to join. Just give me 1 sec.
No problem.
Yeah, can you just send me the file actually? Because I feel like I always have trouble joining your. Oh, no, I got it.
Oh, good. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta click twice, right? It's
Yeah, that was 3 times actually.
Oh yeah. Maybe it's time for me to get a better internet connection, right? It's 2019 after all.
You gotta get fiber, man. That's where it's at.
All right, so in the top right we have bottom right we have Grimz, and the top left we have Jakeplissken. Both these players, great players. I've played many games against both of them. I believe they're both playing the CPL this season.
Yeah.
Jake was actually on my team last season, so a great Zerg player. He's improved quite a lot.
Yeah, I see Jakeplissken on the ladder every once in a while. I see him in the CPL chat, so good active player. I don't know if Grimz is very active right now though, right?
Grimz is active. I do see him play quite a lot, and I think he's from SC2. He used to play StarCraft 2, and he came back, to play the superior SC.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Can't ever go back, right?
Yeah, that's right. I used to play StarCraft 2 as well, right? But
I wasted so much of my life watching like Husky StarCraft and HD. What was it? Like it was Husky StarCraft, right? Was it HD StarCraft?
Yeah, that's right. I remember those guys.
I remember watching it, and I was like, this game's okay, but like I can't wait till they patch it and make it better. But every single patch is like never fixed anything, right? So I wish I had those years back and could go back and watch Medri on Twitch instead.
Yeah. I mean, there's just something about the original StarCraft, man. It was the first great esport. You know that, right? That's some esport history for any of you guys listening.
Yeah, I mean, I wish
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I played this game when it came out like 20 years ago, right? I got it for like Christmas for my birthday or something. In the stores, where I had like the original box, right? And back then I was just a kid playing single player with Sheikahs, playing some. I think it took me 5 years to discover like there was a BattleNet. Yeah, so this game and me have a lot of history. I wished I had found out about like BattleNet and like kind of the online community earlier on. But yeah, let's get back to the game. We see standard opening from Terran, and also from the Zerg we see a hatchery first, so we shouldn't see any pressure get thrown on anytime soon.
Yeah, over the Zerg we see again a pretty standard build as well. Hatchery first, then pool.
Yeah. So one thing I struggle with is there's this guy named George, right, on CPL right now, and he always does this opening against me, and then he always transitions into speedlings, after he kills my scouting SCV. So like, how as a Terran, I think ideally as a Terran, you're walking around here with your scouting SCV, and you're hoping to spot a lair or a spire or a Hydra typing. But like, even if you spot those things, how can you tell a speedling plays in play or not?
All right. Well, the correct answer to that is send another SCV out. That's the only way you're really gonna know, right? If your first SCV gets sniped, just send another one, and for sure you'll be able to see it then, right? Unless you lose that one too, then I mean, then I guess you just gotta like blindly throw down, a bunker, right?
Right.
Another thing is, if this player George always goes for this kind of speedling all in, there's some mind game meta that you could throw in because you're like, oh, I know he's gonna do it anyway, or there's a good possibility he's gonna do it. So just throw down the bunker anyway,
Yeah,
but set you back by 100 minerals, but
yeah, I want to win honorably though. So, and he's not the only player. He's not the only player speedling all in to win. So there's always that.
My friend, there is no such thing as honor left in this game. Doesn't matter if it's like
not from the Zerg or the Protoss at least. The Terrans are the most honorable, so
The only reason why the Terrans are most honorable, and that's a controversial statement, I will say, is because we don't have any kind of really super cheap build. I mean, I guess Deep 6 against Protoss could count. Going Marines against like Protoss, but I mean, if Terrans had a unit which could be abused, like where you could just like a speedling, kind of like a unit like that, I bet you on ladder everybody would be doing that. And
of course, yeah.
You know what? I just remembered something. There is a cheese Terran build. What about BBS, man?
Oh, we don't talk about that, all right? That's only something I pull out in TVTs actually, so it's kosher, right?
Yeah, we only do it against our own race,
yeah.
So it's in house.
So we're seeing some tech come up, right? We've got the engineering bay, but no academy in sight actually. Is that a little bit weird? Is he going for 5 racks right now?
Yeah, he looks like the academy's a little bit late actually. If you're going for this 5 racks plus 1 kind of build, you want to already have your academy now. Another reason why you want to have your academy already out by now is by 6 minutes. If it's usually off 3 hatches, a good Zerg player can get the meter list to your base at around 6:30, or depending on the spawns as well, right? So I mean, since cross map, big map, maybe closer to 7 minutes, but without scans, at this point, you don't know if the Zerg's gonna go Hydralisk or Mutalisk, right? So
yeah, I think he has no idea right now, right? Like this SCV is not.
Academy is very late.
Did this SCV on the top right get into his base at all, or?
No, I think this SCV is just left here to see if the Zerg will be trying to get a third.
Yeah, but I think Terran has no idea. Is this lurkers or is this a Hydra? A Mutalisk opening, right?
So he's doing a blind. Looks like it will be a blind 5 racks plus 1, right?
Right.
As you know, 5 racks plus 1 not really effective against early fast lurk play. There's some Zerg builds that can really abuse the 5 racks plus 1.
Oh my God, we got the lifted CC.
A little bit of.
Oh my God, and he moved it too, so it's not even in the right position to land immediately. This is the most tilting thing that can happen. This happens to me all the time, Jake, so don't worry about it. One thing I'm noticing...
It happens to every Terran player.
Yeah. One thing I'm noticing, right, is that Jake actually has quite a high gas count. But, wait, it just all went away. What happened?
Yeah, because he just made the meal list. What you want to do as Zerg is you actually bank your minerals and gas in anticipation for when that spire finishes, so you can immediately... rally up 9 Mutalisks. It's a very, very common thing, actually.
That was my bad. I, for some reason, thought Jake was a Terran player, so I was really confused.
Oh, yeah. No, sometimes when I watch replays, I get confused as well.
Jakeplissken's a good guy, so I kind of just assumed he was Terran, right? So that's my excuse.
Well, it looks like Grimz actually making the right call. Throwing down those turrets. I think, excuse me if I'm wrong, but I didn't see him... scan before he threw down turrets, so I think this is actually a blind turret counter, which is actually the right move, right? It's going to counter these Mutalisk nicely.
Yeah, I mean, he did use one scan in his main, so I bet he did scan the Spire,
Yeah, he
right?
saw it, but he had the turrets going, I think, before the scan, right? Okay, some really good mutalist micro out of Jake.
We're not
Getting a ton
seeing,
of shots off on the
yeah,
Marines.
we're not seeing any stims come out of Grim, so that's a little interesting, right?
Okay, okay, that's a little bit, stayed a little bit too long there, losing one mutalist to 3 turrets. Not too bad. I can see the Lings have killed the SCV in the. Oh, actually, they haven't killed the SCV in the top right. But
If Grim was not sure where the third base was going to be, he knows for sure now, right?
yeah, exactly. He knows for sure now. He knows it's coming. Yeah, and you can see the drone array Maynard into the third across the screen.
Still not seeing a factory come out.
Yeah, it's not. Okay, you can see Jake doing a little bit more mutalist Michael, picking off those Marines. A good scan coming off, revealing the that maybe that little blind spot.
Yeah, we're just not seeing any stims come out of Grim yet, right?
Yeah. Oh no, but he's not paying attention. A ton of Marines picked off by the mutalist. Okay,
Yeah,
looks like Grimz is making a move out.
Yeah,
I think he's heading for Jake's main. Looks like he's trying to do some kind of like doom counter or something like that. You can see him rallying all his Marines across the map.
Yeah, he's just. I don't think he's going to get anything done right. Losing that many Marines, just it's not enough. And you know that the Zerg has a clump of Zerglings out on the base on the map, and you know he has pretty intact group of mutas. I think this move out is incorrect.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, the mutalists have actually picked off the reinforcements. I don't know if you didn't notice or saw that, right? So now the Marine forces, sorry, the Marine forces severely diminished actually. Now here comes the Zergling flank. Zergling flank with mutalist. This Marine force is completely picked off.
Yeah, well, I don't think I've seen a single stim this game. Is he just not? Oh, yeah, he's just getting stim right now. So.
Oh no, he forgot the stim.
Yeah, so I think
that is not good.
I'm surprised it's this late, right? Because as a Terran player, when you're marking against mutas, you should be like tapping that T button, right, and getting feedback with the the sound effect. So, a little bit of a mistake there.
Right. So it looks like Jake's gonna get his third hatchery up, for sure. Already teching the hive. That's actually pretty good timing. 9:30, very sharp play. Evolution chamber going down. Of course, it's probably for Carapace first. As you know, Zerg usually likes to get Carapace first against Terran to negate that +1. So see Mutalist again harassing the main, picking off that turret, slowing down that starport. Also really crucial. The longer the Terran doesn't have science vessels, the better for Zerg. Okay, we see Marines moving up to his main, warding off the.
Do we have stim yet? Stim. Oh, now we're just getting range, actually.
Yeah, the Mutalist picking off a ton of Marines, but I don't think he should be just trading all his Mutalists, just fighting Marines, right? But
yeah, I mean, I think at this point, it doesn't really matter, right? The point of Mutalists, for the most part, is to keep the Terran in their base. And I mean, we're at 10-20.
Establish a third and all that, right?
Yeah, I mean,
help you get a third up and all that.
Right, and I mean, these Mutalists don't really have much equity later in the game, so I think he's just fine trading them out.
They do have equity in the fact that they can actually stop Terran drops, because sometimes Terran likes to go 2 dropships first.
Right.
If you have your Mutas out in the map, right, it can really stop any kind of drop play, right? Okay, looks like Grimz thinking to make another move. He's rallying out his Marines. Already getting a third, so I think because Grimz lost that bunch of Marines early on, he's actually trying to compensate by getting another command center. Maybe, like trying to boost his economy more, throw it on a little bit some more barracks.
Right. I think at this point it is the right play to get the barracks or the the third CC, because you've got nothing done. You just got to try and keep your head above water and stay competitive with the Zerg.
Right. Yeah. Because with the lost out first Marine group, the Zerg, he could be on 4 bases right now, right? Because there's no way to, without that Marine group, there's no map control, basically, right? So Zerg can go crazy and just expand everywhere, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's actually the right play we should be seeing from Jake, right? But we're not seeing, any more extra expansions get thrown down. And Terran 3 base versus Zerg 3 base, it really isn't that scary for the Terran player. Especially when
Terran can definitely recover at this point. Alright, we see a huge Marine force flooding out, but looks like he forgot his medics or something because there's only Marines.
Taking a little staggered out. Yeah.
A little bit staggered, but there we go. So it looks like he's thinking of maybe attacking the third. But if he tries to attack the third, I mean, that's not gonna work. There's like 3 lurkers there and a ton of mutalisks, right? So
Yeah, I mean, one thing about Jakeplissken, right, is he has no vision of the entire bottom right of the map.
right.
He has tons of Zerglings he could have just had staggered out. That's what we see a lot of good Zerg players do, is, just have Zergling spotters everywhere. We see the first stim of the game as Grim moves out against Jake. He's probably not going to be able to push up this rank, but...
Not with 3 lurkers and a ton of Zerglings. Yeah. I'd like to note that Jake already has his defilers out, right? And the armor's almost done, so he's in a really, really good position right now.
With the Nidus coming up, yeah, this base is not going to die. I think one thing as a Terran player, I think it was a good move to get your 3rd CC up, but another good move is to just go for, quite a bunch of dropships, right? Because the scariest thing as a Terran player is when there's just like, the map is covered in Zerg bases, right? And you can't do anything about it. And just being able to get dropships in like, 24 Marines in the right place at the right time, you can do so much damage, be so cost effective that it can get you, back caught up in the game.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like one good drop, can turn the game in your favor. Oh, look at Grim's base. Looks like we're having some kind of mech transition. It's one of the lost, forgotten arts of the TVZ, the mech transition.
Yeah,
it was actually popular about half a year ago. Everyone was doing it, but it seems like now the meta swung back into just sticking on SK and battle cruisers or something like that after.
Yeah, I mean, I just never did it. I would get ulcers watching Artosis and Nyokin try and hold, half the map against a Zerg who would just concentrate their entire army, one side and then move it to the other side. That just always seems so much more stressful than it was worth doing.
Yeah, I do, but well, it is really, really powerful when you can do it, though. Like, the mech units just shred Zerg. It doesn't even matter if they have Dark Swarm, man. Those, like, mass tanks, they do work against, like, against Zerg, so...
yeah. We're actually seeing...
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we're actually seeing Jake play pretty passively here. He's really giving Grim the chance to catch up in this game. And, the one thing you need with this mech transition is just time, right? And he's getting plenty of it. We'd like to see, and he's even throwing down a 4th CC in the bottom left, off position, so it doesn't get scouted.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Jake's got to make something happen now, if you let this mech transition finish, the Terran is going to be in such a powerful position, especially with 4 bases. And I'm assuming that, like, Grimz will cap his, the 5th base at his, the low ground, right? Where we're building his 4th. So, and if the Terran can hold that, put tanks on a ridge, I mean, they just become so powerful, right? And so the onus really is on the Zerg right now to get something done.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no reason for Grim not to be moving out with these 3 lurkers and these Zerglings and taking the low ground for his 4th base. He
has the defilers. He has all the tools necessary.
Yeah,
There's a ton of Zerglings.
Right. What was the point of these Dark Swarms, right? If not for that, maybe he just he's gonna go for it now, but I think it's a little bit too late. We saw
lurkers moving down under swarm.
Yeah, we saw Grimz throw down Scanes at the 12 o'clock and the 11 o'clock. Not seeing anything, so you have to know he's feeling pretty good right now. His factories are going to start pumping any second. That's actually a little bit sloppy on his part.
Yeah, he saw the supply block, right?
Oh right. Oh okay.
Spend his money. That's why he's like floating 3K. So a huge attack from Jake coming out with lurkers and lings and also Dark Swarm.
Good play.
Force away.
Yeah, good play by the Grim though, not losing anything of that army, right? He's just backing up and buying time, more and more time.
Yeah.
That
was a pretty good play.
Yeah, I mean these units aren't really Grim's problem, right? He doesn't care about them anymore. If they die, actually, it puts him in a better position for supply for his mech transition.
Yeah, just more of those powerful mechanical units, right? I mean, all these units' job is basically to deny map presence for Jake, right? Make him work to get those extra bases, right?
Right, and when we're seeing
it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean we're seeing Jake's mutas scout the barracks, so you have to know that he's maybe he's being thrown for a loop here.
That's right, yeah.
And
so we see science vessels and phone out natural.
Yeah, we got 3 full energy science vessels out of Grim that he's not using, unfortunately. Like to see him use the energy a bit better.
Yeah, Jake really needs some Scourge to counter that, or else, one flyby with the science vessels, man, everything gets irradiated, man. I mean, I know as a Terran player, we like to complain when Protoss throws out their powerful storms, but I mean, you gotta think about Zerg's point of view. Just think of a cloud of science vessels flying over your units.
Oh, you just plague it
radiating,
once and
like...
get a Mutalisk, right? It's easy.
Oh, I guess that is true. But
Yeah.
you're not on top of it, man. You know, like, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I wasted all this gas building this, and want to radiate. That's it.
We're seeing these Mutalisks get some play actually. Killing off the SV's main arting fourth. And if you didn't know it before, Jake definitely knows there's the fourth base up now. So you have to know that. Yeah, I think he's probably kicking himself right now. He's let this Terran get back in this game, and really, what are his options to get back into it?
Yeah, right. Yeah, with Grimz basically now on 4 bases, I'm assuming he's going to take another base quite soon. The Zerg's got to make something happen, before it gets too powerful. So we do see at the Zerg at 3rd and 4th, a little bit of a plague and a push out.
Yeah, we see 2 Zergling push under Dark Swarm, so that's a little bit. He's being a little bit micro-intensive, right? I feel like as Zerg, you really just want to be like, hey, I have a bunch of units, and I'm going to A-move them into you, and not worry about it too much, and it'll probably work, right? So I think
you do have to micro as Zerg. You got to move manually move the lurkers and burrow them. You got to get your swarms up. I mean,
yeah, but he's being a little bit. I think he's afraid to take losses crossing this bridge, and I think you just have to not be afraid, especially with 5 armor Ultralisks, and these are 7 damage Marines. He's really not he's not doing what he could, right? There's nothing stopping him moving this army across the bridge and annihilating this force.
Right. I do fully agree. Like, you gotta be a little bit more active. You gotta move out. Be willing to take some losses. Especially he knows by now that the Terran is meching, right? So the longer you give the Terran time to just expand all over the map with the mech play, the stronger the Terran gets, right?
Yeah. I mean, we got what 7 factories, 2 starports. And we got Terran actually maxing out for the Zerg, which isn't that surprising actually. We should see the move out, which is happening, but...
Right. So you see Grimz securing his... Well, now it's super secure. He's got like a gazillion turrets on the bottom left. And
oh my goodness. He's made it, it's not going to do anything.
Yeah. So his main arting is SCVs to the bottom left. Looks like he's thinking of taking the 6 o'clock as well. You can see an SCV main arting down there. Okay, now Zerg finally has finished Overlord speed, so now he'll be able to get some vision on the map. Potentially clear out some mines if there are any mines. Yeah,
I mean,
command center. Yeah, command center going down at the 6 o'clock. Yeah, I still don't really see the Zerg doing much. He's flying his Mutalisk around at 12.
Yeah, I think he's just
pick off some barracks.
Yeah, I mean he's maxed out now. Why is he not attacking? Right, like there's.
You know what? Maybe this replay is corrupted, man. Maybe. I'm not even lying.
Let's get in the chat, right? Jake.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Is this bugged or not?
Yeah, is this bugged or?
Is it a little confusing right now? No, it's not bugged. We have confirmation.
I thought maybe it's been bugged up or something. Because I've seen this. I watched this game, I think, and it was really action packed. So I thought maybe it bugged. I guess not anyway. So anyway, we see Grimz actually moving forward at the main with his Marines. He's actually just looking to throw away this extra supply. So he can get more faction units. Looks like the Zerglings traded super efficiently. I mean, look at the power of Cracklings, man. 3-2 Cracklings. Cleaned out that...
I mean, these Marines are only 1-1, right? So not too surprising.
Yeah, a huge attack coming down with the Ultralisk. Moving across the base. The Zerg's 3rd and 4th down to the Terran's natural.
Yeah, but I mean...
Tanks unsieging, which is good. Good Dark Swarm.
Perfect Swarm, yeah.
Good Dark Swarms. Gonna push away those siege tanks. We see a ton of Zerglings now flooding down, and like reinforcements flooding down too.
Yeah, perfect reaction by Jake. He's really following up his attacks. It's great.
Yeah, that's a great play by Jake.
Would like to see
the right thing.
Yeah, would like to see this. The 6 lurkers at his natural start doing something. He really has to
start moving them out.
Yeah, he really has to start killing a base, right? I think maybe his direction of attack was wrong too. Like, there's really no point in going for the main. Yeah, Grimz doesn't seem to have that much left though on the at the main. So this attack might, if he keeps reinforcing it, it might just be the end, right? Yeah, but I think typically you want
Oh, it's a good Dark Swarm.
the thing that's going to end the
is,
Terran is the just killing off the economy, right? And so you know that the economy at the main and natural is already mined out. So I think what you want to do is you want to keep switching back and forth between attacking the left corner and the right corner. And I guess it doesn't really matter which one you attack first, but I like to see maybe the first attack go towards that fresh natural or that fresh main that you expanded to, which really has nothing in it. But we see he's getting some really good damage.
It abuses the mobility of that mech, right? Because force them to move, unsiege, and all that, right?
Yeah, but
it looks like a ton of reinforcements flooding down continuously. You see more Ultralisk coming down on the way. Grimz is really hard pressed to hold his base, but that SimCity though, look at that fast replacement. I mean, funneling those like Ultralisk in, one after one, but. I mean, it kind of looks like something out of a cinematic, with a ton of.
Oh my God, Grimz DG'd.
Grimz, good games.
I don't think that was I think he could have stayed in there, right?
Yeah, I think he could have stayed a little longer, but if he loses all his production, right? I'm not sure if he could, really rally back out of that.
Yeah, I guess I'm just surprised that you'd think he'd have the production in his main to kind of hold that off, but I guess he just didn't have that. So that was, I think that I guess Jake did a pretty good job of just sensing blood in the water and just going for it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of have to apologize as well. We were saying like Jake wasn't making his move, but once he made his move, he followed it up and he basically won. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that was really
good.
Good.
I mean, I was saying you should shift your attacks, but when you have exploited a position, you don't want to do that. You want to keep shifting when there's like not a hole yet, right? And as soon as you find that hole, you exploit it. And yeah, Jake did a really good job of doing that.
Right. All right, Sig. Do you have time for one last one? I know you said this was the last one, but this was a 2-game series, right? So,
yeah, actually, I know. I gotta get off now. Sorry.
All right, no problem. Well, thanks for casting, Sig.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks everyone for watching as well. I hope you enjoyed the cast.
Yeah.
It was really fun. Sig, do you have any ending remarks?
No, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll probably do another cast, in a week or two. So cool. Yeah. See you then.
Yeah. See you later.
Bye.